When I walked into my house after 12 months of deployment, my daughter was scrubbing the floor. That's not the part that haunts me. What haunts me is what she said when she saw me. She looked up, still on her knees, and whispered 6 words that made my blood run cold. 6 words that explained everything. Why she stopped calling me overseas. Why her voice sounded different on our video chats. Why she always seemed nervous when her stepmother was in the room. I can't tell you what those 6 words were yet, because once you hear them, you'll understand why what I did next was revenge. It was rescue. My daughter had been trying to tell me for months, but I was too far away to hear it. Too focused on my mission to see the signs. And by the time I came home, she'd almost given up hope that anyone would ever help her. What happened in my house while I was serving overseas? It was worse than you think. Hello, friends. Thanks for joining us at True Experience. If this story resonates with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to stay connected with more real-life tales of betrayal and justice. Drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. We love hearing from our community across the USA, Canada, and around the world. Quick note before we begin. This is a personal account based on real experiences. Names and some details have been changed for privacy. Nothing here is intended as legal or professional advice. My name is Robert. I'm 53 years old now. What I'm about to tell you happened 6 years ago, but I still think about it every single day. I served in the Army for 22 years. Infantry. I'd done tours in Iraq, Afghanistan, places I can't talk about. I was good at my job. Disciplined. Focused. The kind of soldier who didn't complain, didn't question orders, just executed the mission. My first wife, Sarah, died when our daughter Emma was only 4 years old. Cancer. It moved fast. I took emergency leave, buried my wife, and went right back to duty 3 weeks later, because that's what I thought I had to do. My mother-in-law helped with Emma for a while, but she was getting older. Her health wasn't good. I met Christine 2 years later at a Veterans Day event. She was a nurse, kind face, said all the right things about wanting to help, about understanding military life, about how she'd always wanted children, but never had any. Emma was 6 then, shy, quiet, still grieving her mother in ways I didn't fully understand. Christine and I got married after dating for 8 months. Looking back, that was too fast. But I was trying to give Emma stability. A mother figure. Someone who'd be there when I couldn't be. The first few years seemed fine. Christine took care of the house. She picked them up from school, made dinner. I was home between deployments, and things felt normal enough. Emma called her Miss Christine at first, then just Christine. Never Mom. I didn't push it. In 2017, I got orders for a 12-month deployment to Afghanistan. Emma was 11, almost 12. Old enough to understand, but still a kid. Before I left, I sat her down in her bedroom. I remember she had her stuffed rabbit on her lap, the one Sarah had given her. I'm going to be gone for a while. I told her, but I'll call you every week. We'll do video chats. And Christine will take care of you. Emma nodded, but her eyes looked worried. What if something happens? Nothing's going to happen, I said. You'll be safe here. And I'll be home before you know it. She hugged me tight that day. Tighter than usual. I thought it was just because I was leaving. For the first few months overseas, everything seemed normal. Emma and I video chatted every Sunday. She'd tell me about school, about her friends, about the books she was reading. She was always good at school. Smart kid. Responsible. But around month 4, I started noticing changes. Small things. Emma's hair looked different, like it hadn't been washed in a few days. She had circles under her eyes. When I asked if she was sleeping okay, she just gnawed and changed the subject. How's Christine? I'd ask. She's fine, Emma would say. Quick. Flat. Everything okay at home? Yeah, Dad. Everything's fine. But her voice had changed. It sounded smaller. Careful, like she was reading from a script. By month 6, she started missing our video calls. Christine would get on instead and say Emma was at a friend's house, or doing homework, or tired. I'd feel frustrated, but I was in the middle of a combat zone. I couldn't exactly fly home to check on things. When Emma did call, Christine was always nearby. I could see her in the background, moving around the kitchen or sitting on the couch. Emma's answers got shorter. Yes. No. I don't know. Fine. Is everything really okay? I asked her once, about 8 months in. Emma looked directly at the camera. For just a second, I saw something in her eyes. Fear, maybe, or desperation. But then Christine walked past behind her, and Emma's face went blank again. Everything's fine, Dad. I have to go do my homework now. That was the last video call we had before I came home. I landed at Fort Bragg on a Tuesday afternoon in March 2018. I didn't tell Christine exactly when I'd be home. I wanted to surprise them. I caught a ride with another soldier who was heading near my town, and he dropped me off at the end of my street. It was just after 2 in the afternoon. I was still in my uniform, duffel bag over my shoulder. I walked up to my house, same house I left a year ago, and opened the front door. The first thing I noticed was the smell. Not bad exactly, just sterile, like a hospital. Everything was too clean, too perfect. The living room looked like a showroom. No signs that a 12-year-old lived there. Then I heard water running, scrubbing sounds. I walked toward the kitchen. That's when I saw her, Emma, on her hands and knees, scrubbing the kitchen floor with a brush and a bucket of soapy water. She was wearing old clothes, too small for her, stained and worn. Her hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. Her hands were red and raw. I stood there in the doorway, frozen. She looked up, saw me. Her eyes went wide. And then she said it. 6 words. Quiet. Broken. Dad, please don't leave me again. That's when I saw the bruises. Faint, yellowing bruises on her forearms. Fresher ones on her knees. Emma, I said. My voice came out hoarse. What's going on? She stood up fast, almost knocking over the bucket. She looked terrified. Not of me, of something else. I'm just cleaning, she said. Christine likes everything clean. I have to finish before she gets back. Where's Christine? She went to her sister's house. She'll be back at 4. I have to finish before then. I set my duffel bag down, walked over to my daughter, knelt down in front of her. She wouldn't look at me. Emma, tell me what's been happening here. She started crying. Not loud, just quiet tears running down her face. I tried to tell you, she whispered. I tried, but she was always there, and you were so far away, and I didn't want you to worry. Tell me now. And she did. Everything. How Christine changed the day I deployed. How the kindness disappeared like a switch had been flipped. How she made Emma do all the housework. Cooking, cleaning, laundry. How she'd wake Emma up at 5 in the morning to scrub bathrooms before school. How she stopped buying Emma new clothes and made her wear old, worn-out things while Christine bought herself new outfits every week. How Christine would lock Emma's bedroom door from the outside at night. How she'd take away Emma's phone for days at a time as punishment for small things. How she'd make Emma eat dinner alone in the kitchen after Christine had already eaten in the dining room. How she told Emma that if she ever said anything to me, she'd tell everyone that Emma was lying. That Emma was a troubled child. That no one would believe her. She said you'd be angry at me, Emma said, still crying. She said you'd think I was ungrateful. She said military families have to be strong, and I was being weak. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not anger. Not yet. Something harder than that. Show me your room, I said. Emma led me upstairs. Her bedroom door had a bolt lock on the outside. Brand new hardware. I opened the door. The room was bare. The walls had been stripped of her posters, her photos. Her bookshelf was empty. Her bed had a thin blanket and a flat pillow. The stuffed rabbit Sarah had given her was gone. Where are your things? Christine threw them away. She said I was too old for toys and childish things. She said I needed to grow up. I walked back downstairs. Emma followed me, nervous. I opened the garage. There, in neat bins, were Emma's things. Her books, her stuffed animals, photo albums of Sarah, all of it labeled and stored like it was trash waiting to be taken to the dump. I checked Christine's room. Our room. Except it wasn't ours anymore. All my things were gone too. My photos, my diplomas, my military awards, everything. The room looked like only Christine lived there. I found my stuff in the basement, boxes shoved in a corner. That's when the anger came. Not loud, not explosive, cold, controlled, the kind of anger that comes from years of discipline and training. I looked at Emma. Pack a bag. Just the essentials. We're leaving. Where are we going? Doesn't matter. Somewhere safe. I called my old squad leader, Martinez. He'd retired nearby and always said if I needed anything, just call. I explained the situation in 3 sentences. He didn't ask questions. Bring her here, he said. My wife will take care of her. I drove Emma to Martinez's house. His wife, Rosa, took one look at Emma and pulled her into a hug. Emma broke down completely. Rosa just held her and whispered that she was safe now. Then I drove back home. I sat in my truck across the street and waited. Christine pulled into the driveway at 4:15. She got out of her car, carrying shopping bags, new clothes. I recognized a logo from an expensive boutique. I walked up behind her as she reached the front door. Hello, Christine. She jumped, turned around, saw me in my uniform. Her face went through several expressions in about 2 seconds. Surprise, fake happiness, then calculation. Robert, oh my God, you're home. Why didn't you tell me? I would have prepared something special. Where's Emma? Emma's safe, I said. That's all you need to know. Her smile faltered. What do you mean? Is she okay? Don't, I said. Quiet. Flat. Don't pretend. I saw the bedroom. I saw the locks. I saw the bruises. Her face changed. The mask dropped. What was underneath was cold. She's dramatic, Christine said. She's always been dramatic. You have no idea how difficult she's been this year. I've been trying to teach her responsibility. Structure. You're never here, Robert. Someone has to raise her. You locked her in her room. She wouldn't stay in bed. She'd wander around the house at night. She's 12 years old. She was probably scared. She was manipulative. She tried to play me and you against each other. She made things up. I stepped closer. Christine actually backed up. I saw the bruises. I said again, she bruises easily. She's clumsy. Stop. Christine stopped. I'm going to make this very simple. I said, you have 1 week to move out of my house. I'm filing for divorce. I'm filing for a restraining order. And I'm reporting this to Child Protective Services. You can't prove anything, Christine said. Her voice had changed. Sharp now. Defensive. It's her word against mine. And you were gone for a year. What kind of father leaves his daughter for a year? That one almost got me. Almost. But I'd learned a long time ago how to stay controlled under pressure. I have proof, I said. I took photos. Of everything. The locks, the room, the bruises, and I have Emma's testimony. I also pulled our bank records this afternoon. You've been spending thousands of dollars on yourself while buying nothing for Emma. That's documented. Christine's face went pale. And here's what else is going to happen. I continued. You're going to sign the divorce papers without contest. You're going to waive any claim to this house, to my military pension, to anything. Because if you fight me on this, I will make sure everyone knows what you did. Your job, your friends, your family, every single person will know you abused a child whose mother died and whose father was serving overseas. You wouldn't. I've done harder things. We stood there in the driveway. 2 people who'd shared a house, a life, a marriage, except it had all been a lie. Christine left that night, stayed with her sister. She signed the divorce papers 4 days later. Didn't contest anything. The restraining order was granted. CPS investigated. But since Emma was no longer in Christine's care, they closed the case with notation in the file. The divorce was final in 6 months. I kept Emma home from school for 2 weeks after I got back. We spent time together, went fishing, watched movies. I didn't push her to talk. Just let her know I was there. Slowly, She started opening up. Little things at first, then bigger things. The full picture of what that year had been like for her. I got her into therapy. Good therapist. Someone who specialized in trauma. It took time, but Emma started healing. I also made a decision. I put in my retirement paperwork. 22 years was enough. I'd given enough to the Army. My daughter needed me more. We moved to a different town 6 months later. Fresh start. New house. Emma got to decorate her room however she wanted. She picked bright yellow walls and filled it with books and photos, and all the things Christine had tried to take away from her. She's 18 now, in college, studying psychology. She wants to help kids who've been through what she went through. We talk every day. Sometimes just quick texts. Sometimes long phone calls. She knows I'm always there. Last year, on the anniversary of the day I came home, Emma and I went out to dinner. Just the two of us. She was wearing her mother's necklace, the one I'd saved from the boxes in the basement. "Dad," she said, "I never thank you." For what? For believing me, for not questioning it, for just acting. I reached across the table and took her hand. "You're my daughter. That's what fathers do." She smiled, a real smile, the kind I hadn't seen in years before that day I came home. I think about Christine sometimes. Not often. I heard she moved to another state, got remarried. I don't know if she has stepchildren now. I hope not. But that's not my concern anymore. What I think about more is how close I came to missing it. If I'd come home a week later, a month later, if Emma had given up completely, if she'd stopped trying to hold on, I was trained to complete missions, to focus on objectives, to follow orders. But the most important mission I ever had was right there in my own house, and I almost failed it. I didn't fail it, though. I came home. I saw what was happening, and I did what needed to be done. That's all Father can do. Show up, pay attention, protect what matters. Emma matters. She always has. She always will. If this story meant something to you, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're watching from somewhere around the world, let us know where you're from. We love connecting with people who understand that family isn't always easy, but it's always worth fighting for. Thanks for listening. Take care of each other.